What needs to happen in Zimbabwe for the country to thrive?
For Zimbabwe to thrive, one of the most obvious changes is the political situation in Zimbabwe. As I've said earlier, Zimbabwe's political climate for years has been one that is led by fear. It is one that has been really moved by exclusion. It's one that has been run on threats, and it's one that has always, had accusations without fail. Always, every election has had accusations of rigging, and for good reason. In fact, we've just come out of an election almost a week ago. We're in the middle of an incredible election dispute, and it's an election for the first time that has now been condemned by SADC, the Southern Africa Development Committee. It's also been condemned by the African Union. It's been condemned by the European Union. Various observer missions that came to Zimbabwe have condemned this election for its violence, the fact that it was unfree, it was unfair, have condemned for the way in the way that the government has run it. So that is number one. The political situation, the democratic situation in Zimbabwe needs to come right. I think the fundamental rights of individuals that have been taken away and trampled on for years must be restored. Zimbabweans need to feel safe in Zimbabwe. They need to feel like home is where they belong. Home is where they can participate. Home is where they can invest. Because if your own citizen would rather leave Zimbabwe, and let me say at this point, the number of Zimbabweans that have left Zimbabweans is staggering. It's estimated that there are over 3 million Zimbabweans living outside Zimbabwe. The bulk of those are in South Africa. And so in a situation like that, Zimbabweans are preferring to leave Zimbabwe rather than to stay. And what you want in a thriving country, the first sign that this is a country that is thriving is that its citizens want to come back. Its citizens want to stay home. They want to invest home. They want to invest their education back home. They want to invest their skills. They want to invest themselves. But when your own citizen does not want to do that, then there's something wrong. So that is number one. The political situation, the way we are conducting our democracy in Zimbabwe has got to be attended to. We need to stop dealing with our those we disagree with using violence. We need to stop the state capture. We need to stop the corruption. We need to stop, the way in which Zimbabwe, has not been able to meet global standards of democracy, which has meant that Zimbabwe has been excluded from places like the Commonwealth. Zimbabwe has been excluded from, many aspects of, the global community, which could have benefited us. So I think number one, that political situation, the democratic question, the question, of having a more, a more democratic, a more legitimate process of choosing our leadership needs to come right. If that does not work for Zimbabwe, as with any other nation, nothing else will work. No investors will be interested in coming, to Zimbabwe. And in fact, one of the big issues that has come from Zimbabwe's problems internally is that we have become the destabilizing factor of our region. We've become we've become the blemish on the region, the Southern African Development Committee's region. When you look at Mozambique, even with its problems that they're going through, Mozambique is not as bad as Zimbabwe is. You look at South Africa, you look at Botswana, you look at Namibia, look at Malawi, look at Zambia. These are nations that surround us. And Zimbabwe is the one for the last 40 years that has not been able to conduct itself, well, or at least better in terms of its political situation.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, you may find some of our other work interesting. Check out another video here. Also, make sure to hit the like and subscribe button below, leave a comment, and follow the IATP on Twitter at @the_IATP.